You're live. All right. I think. How do we see the preview? All right. We good? I think so. Hey, how about that? So that's good. Except this isn't good. Let's mute that. YouTube. Settings.
I don't hear you said it.
That's good. I don't know if
Oh, it's there.
what, they're static?
There wasn't there, but I heard a couple clicks.
That's not good. Alright, I'll listen to it for a minute. Yeah, we can see. I don't know. I'll leave it for a minute, and then we'll just see if it works. I don't know if my... Huh. This doesn't seem to be working, though, which is kind of annoying. Oh, just kidding. It just worked. Okay. Alright, well, we'll roll with it for now and see what happens. Oh, it's definitely got that static to it. Ah, what is that?
It's not bad.
It's not good.
No, you're right.
This one, I think. This is a Logitech little mechanical dealy. Okay, sorry guys. Oh my god, that's worse. Alright, we'll put that back. Alright, we'll just let it go for a little bit and see. This doesn't make any sense. You can do like a microphone, and it got worse for whatever reason. A microphone by the same company, literally made to stream to the camera. It's so garbly. It's like, yeah, it'll be fine for right now. Alright, how do we make this bigger? That's kind of cool.
Nice shot.
Alright, sorry guys. I've been practicing two-staging, and when I install, I still get fingers. You're shrinking, but you're not shrinking. It's a common problem at I see at the classes. It's like you're putting heat on it, but you're not really shrinking the film very much. So there's a way to, all right, let's mute this. There. There's always a way to shrink the film a little bit farther after you shrink some of the fingers. That's usually why you're going to get extra ones. That's a big reason why I'll snap shrink instead of doing it a different way, because it's a little confusing until you get used to what you're looking for. Corey windows look fun. Yeah, not bad. They just don't have much room on the inside, which is a little bit annoying. I was hoping there'd be another random update for this camera, but there is not. So I gotta do a removal though. We have to remove the tint that's on here. I already did the driver's door, but the rest of it has to be removed. It's not too bad at removing, a little bit tedious. But surprisingly, peels off fairly clean. Oh, this is my other one. Let's grab this. And then I gotta keep track of everything again. Sprayer. I need my sprayer. Sprayer, what you doing over there? Oh, in the car. This one doesn't like staying on for very long. But it'll stay on enough. So it's just gonna take it. I was just gonna kind of take it easy and do one window at a time. Windshield was already done. We did that about a month ago before construction started. Look at that gap. See that gap up there? That's not a very pretty gap. It's smooth. The front door looked a little bit better. But we'll take it one set at a time. I just don't want to leave water on the panels for too long. So I'm going to steam them off, I'm going to cut them, and then I'm going to shrink it and install. This definitely feels like a carbon. If you pull too fast on it, it leaves some glue behind. So you have to kind of finesse it. But this is definitely one of the easier ones. One thing I don't understand is where these lines are coming from though. There's like these weird, I swear to God, they look like scratches, but they're not. They're just like weird glue marks or whatever. I've never seen anything quite like that, but yeah, they just come right off, so it freaked me out at first. I thought there was like a bunch of scratches hiding under here. Okay, that's one. But they need to be scraped and scrubbed off. Yeah. But Tic Tac don't like it.
It just looks like you're really short.
Yeah, a little bit. Any vehicles with the new coating? No. Like the Toyotas? I haven't had any. I've had new Toyotas. None of them here have had the coating. I don't have very many of them though. But somehow I've managed to avoid it. I'd just be real careful with it. One, I would let the customer know there's going to be an issue if the film ever needs to be removed. And two, I would just give it like a gentle scrub down. I'd treat it like it was already tinted, because that's essentially what you're going over. First time catching one of your live streams. We haven't had one in a hot minute here. You're holding the razor in your mouth. Yeah. There's nowhere else to put it. Nice. Don't get steamed. Wow, I think that literally went all in my shoe. That's fun. At least it's warm. All right, so we need to cut some patterns for this, and then we'll install it right away. You feel like a pirate. Yarr. Okay, so this is my film. We're doing 15 Pro Nano. Let me set that way. Nothing like steaming the very thing that you're using to create steam. I learned a lot from your videos, but I'm still getting a bit of contamination. Totally normal. That's what makes tinting tough. Any tips on minimizing? Yeah, most of it is your process. I'm gonna save that one and cut it on the other side. Yeah, most of it is your actual install. There we go. So we'll definitely go over that. Slide this over, jump to the other side, same thing. Slide it back. And we're going to slide it down just a smidge. We don't need to tuck very far down into these. This is a 40-inch size roll. I don't know why. It just is. Usually they're 36, but it doesn't hurt to have extra. It just costs a little more is all. But you could do this just fine. Split it in half with that 36. This channel made me want to start tinting, although I went through my first roll of film and want to quit. Welcome to the club. That's what everybody goes through. Alright, we're going to round out our corners. Straight line, around the corner. Whenever I've got more to round, you can take a straight edge, right like that. And then round off that little difference, because your cut's going to keep going this way, this cut would keep going that way. Just draw some intersecting lines, trim that off. Okay, steamer, you've steamed a minute. Actually, I can pause you. Shrinking. We need to talk about that too. Okay, let's take a step back. Let's do what I teach first in the classes if you don't know how to shrink. If you have fingers, the problem is there's always more film going past your edges, so you're not getting a fully accurate representation when you squeegee some of this stuff out. So what we need to do is we need to force some extra to go to the bottom if we can. So you want to make sure that the top is perfectly flat, and then drag down on one side, and you're forcing that film to bunch up here. I'm doing the same thing here. Forcing some film to punch up here in the center, and then lightly sweep some of that out. Then I'm going to grab my heat gun, turn it on to high, and then we're going to shrink the fingers that pop up. So just because I hit it with some heat and I smush it down doesn't mean it's shrunk. You got to wait for some zigzags, and then when they're full of water, they're not going to shrink as much. So what often happens is you'll get a little closer for a little longer, get it to shrink, press it down, and you'll get another one that's a little more dry popping up somewhere else. So it's shrunk, like everything's locked down, but it's still not completely shrunk. So what I'm going to do is lift it about 4 or 5 inches. I'm going to let it go. One side, the other side. And then all these little rippled areas, see how they're just waves popping up? I'm going to hit that with a little more heat and get it to pull. So this is effectively shrinking my film a little farther, so then when I install it, I'm hopefully not going to get any of those fingers. That's like a multi-step way to do what I typically do. I typically just snap it. So I'll do that on the other side when it comes to it. Oh, we gotta face this up. Higher. Wow. There's a big difference. See, head cam is always better. It's just really annoying to keep this on your head the whole time. Okay, so to keep contamination down, I squeegee from one side to the other, and I want to make sure the center has been swept clean. So I'll typically do that twice, but look, one sweep, sweep all that stuff over. So the middle should be clean. Sweep that down. Sweep that down. Do you use distilled water? No, but we have city water, and it's good. I've had water filters on. We're gonna be putting another one on here in a minute. But if you're in like a hard water area, yeah, you do want to do something about that. Then we're gonna pull this halfway down. Then we're gonna pick it up. Hydrophobic coating, use a torch. And then so to install this, I'm gonna focus on the longer side here first. Let this hang back. And we're gonna roll up the film portion here, just like that. So it's nice and flat, and then we're gonna tuck this in on the side. Right like that. Come back to the other side, do the same thing. Just pull the tint portion up, pull it back, so this is laying flat on the glass. And if it's flat, it's not gonna bump into your seal, and then you can go back in the other direction. Then pull it, just stretch it out, so it's nice and even. And then we're gonna line this as close as we can to the top edge. Start with that light squeegee. I'm just gonna check, bump my edge away from the very, very top. Wow, that camera works so good. How high do we have to go? Sorry. But yeah, this is where that's at. And then corner, corner, there you go. And then we're gonna roll this up. Ta-da! Sounds like I wasn't shrinking it enough. That's always the case. Whenever you have fingers popping up, the reason they pop up in the first place is film is flat, glass is curved. It's telling you that there's curve in that glass and you haven't molded the film enough, you haven't shrunk it enough. So sometimes that's confusing when you do shrink it some, but that's kind of the, you just have to read those types of things. Where's the head mount? Oh, I don't even know. I have to track it down. See, I was gonna find something for both TikTok and YouTube. That's kind of the idea. But today I picked up the camera and I figured I'd just stream to YouTube. I streamed to TikTok yesterday. It's annoying that doing both of them is such a pain in the ass, but I'm working on it. Neat. So then we're going to wipe this off. Plan on taking your class in a couple months. Can't wait. Cool. We gotta figure out dates. I got a baby due very soon. So that's one reason. There's always something. We're either out of the country. We can only plan like solid like month ahead. Okay. So I want to do this quarter window while I'm here and just knock it out of the way. Then I'll pull all the covers off. So this I'm going to want to cut really as close as possible. I have a little bit of slack. This is not what I would consider a super difficult quarter. They're just a little bigger for what they are. I feel like your class will help boost my confidence and speed. It's really good at that. It's good at speeding you up wherever you're at. I'm gonna do some videos here on flat glass soon enough. We're just gonna keep going with it. I should prep the back window. I should get my extra film off of the quarters that it would bring, but screw it. Alright, we'll save this one for the other side. Oh, that reminds me. Hang on a second. Hey, we had somebody book a Model 3 for 1 o'clock.
Today?
Yeah, he didn't talk to anybody. He did it late last night, and I totally forgot about it. But he needs a phone call.
Where would I find his information?
Calendly.
Oh, okay.
Okay, just put this down. I got asked to do my first Model 3, but I'm a little worried about the back window. Yeah, that's what reminded me about that. Thank you for that. The back windows are definitely tricky, especially your first one. It's a lot of film to shrink. But it's not that hard. But it does help to go through it a time or two. But we do the full back windows, and so we have to figure out what's going on ahead of time. And talk to him about pricing, too. That vehicle is just different. So he probably saw some vague pricing on the website and booked, so... That's a problem. So we have to figure all that out. What film he wants, pricing, and everything, and then schedule it.
I already have
That's a good question. I don't know, just charge more. I think I have it as a proposal in TintWiz. Son of a bitch. This was flipped sideways because I'm smart. Thanks to words, I've done 5 so far, 2 full windshields, not many issues, just with like less contamination, not to take a full day per car. Oh, here you go. Not taking a full day per car, that takes time. Biggest thing though is like, I had to speed up because I tinted at different shops and I really didn't have a choice. Because when they're only charging like $250, if that, you know, and you take all day, they're not making money off of you and you're taking up a bay. So they just expect you to speed up. 400 Pro Classic and a Model 3 is okay, nothing on the windshield. Well, if you're doing the full back window all the way up, you just get a special order, a 60-inch roll for that. So if you're doing like a half back window, then yeah, no problem. But a full back window, just keep that in mind. Okay, now can we shrink it? Probably. So I'll keep 60-inch rolls special for that one. That's true. I mean, you do get a roll for future ones. The the only annoying thing is they rarely get used, and we have a lot of people that change their minds on shades from Tesla to Tesla. So we've collected everything from like 50, 35, 5, 15, and it was like nobody was getting like the same shades. I got lots of space on this front edge. I don't have as much space on this back edge. I feel like that is going to be an issue when I go to install this one. But we'll see. He was a very impulsive Tesla customer. I can hear them rescheduling. or canceling.
That scared him away.
Huh?
I said that scared him away real quick.
What?
The price.
Oh, he wanted to pay $290.
Well, it wasn't just that. He didn't say anything about the price. I just said we would be. I found another proposal you had. $750, $850, or $950.
Yeah.
I don't know. And then I said,
Yeah, if we're doing the windshield,
yeah.
then it'll be up there.
So he didn't, and he's not coming today. He said he was going to call around, and I told him to let us know, and we can refund his deposit if he's going to end up not doing it or taking it somewhere else.
Okay. Okie doke. You still get contamination occasionally. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, no, definitely not. Yeah, it always, not always. It happens. It's a part of the game. Your cost though on film, that's what's nice about it. So when you screw something up, it really costs you more in your time and frustration. But when you mess up pattern after pattern after pattern after pattern, that sucks. Alright, cool. So now we got this side done. I actually had more room than I thought on that quarter, because it slid like back behind whatever gasket is there. So you could be a fair amount off and still get it. I've had other ones. I think it was an M3. M3, you didn't have like much wiggle room at all. So this is good. Looking nice. I like it. But yeah, dirt's always gonna be a thing. It's just part of the job. Congrats on the new baby. Thank you. When's the due date? June like 16th.
That's not going to be a good day for me. I don't think I can make it.
Yeah, it's.
I think I got work that day.
Yeah, I won't be around for a minute. Alright, so let's do this door. We're gonna pull off what's here, go back through the removal, save the back window for last.
You kind of want Tint slip.
Yeah. Yeah, and get me a list of class film that we need too. This one.
Like rolls. It's sold out, right? So we need like full.
Yeah, and I just don't remember what we had.
Yeah, I'll get through that.
So just find out what we have. It looks nice. I like that.
I'm gonna have to paint that 2x4 up there. It's driving me nuts in the video.
Yeah.
At least get it made, like they at least look better. You won't say it won't stand out.
Yeah, maybe we can finish that wall early next week. Is it a Conquest next to you? Yeah, it is. It's got a broken window in it too. What kind of tape? Seal guard. Been using this for quite a while now. One more. Just these little ones. There we go. I can cover up this panel. Okay, turn it on one more time. There we go. Yeah, good enough. Are we running? No, not yet. Ow, fuck. Yeah, look at this. See what they did here? They got nice and close here. Tapered way off here. Oof. I wonder if that was just like, that's what the plotter did. And because you have this so close, there's not much you can do for the rest of it. You either go short on here, or you go short on there. Just kind of sucks all around. I need that steamer. It's okay. Like, it's funny. This is the first type of steamer that I ever used. It takes a long time to warm up. Like a good 15 minutes to heat up. So if you need it in a pinch, sorry. But it holds a lot of water, and when it works, or like when it goes, it'll just put out quite a bit of steam. I wouldn't say it's got like a ton of force behind it though. But I took one of my old steamers, and I took the hose off of that and I merged it with this one. So that's why this is like this. but it's got a standby. So you can put it on pause, it'll keep the tank warm. So it doesn't take that long to start back up once you do. All right. So now we need a pattern. Looking forward to attend the flat glass class. Oh, cool, man. Yeah, it'll be good to have you. I was really happy with the way the first one went. So we have a pretty good game plan down. We're gonna pick up some extra windows for everybody, because like that's not gonna be enough. I'm gonna bring my sprayer over to the other side. Oh, this one. Oh, do you have a file? A little bit now. I have one of these needle files. These are really, really nice. So you can even reach into like tight top corners. So they'd be especially nice on something like this. Why don't you ever use the plotter? I do. I use it quite a bit. So we have that Graph Tech over there. And when you're just trying to go for precision, I mean, you still can't quite beat a knife. But using core, a lot now, overall, it's our favorite. I'm gonna set this one here for now. Do you offer ceramic coatings at your shop? No. No, ceramic coatings would be, you get into paint corrections and all that stuff. It's just a lot of extra work. If we could just do the ceramic coating part, sure. But it comes with paint corrections. Paint corrections usually come with like interior details. And then it's a whole detail shop thing. Move it back over. Nice. Slide it down just a little bit. Wow, this thing must want a battery on it real bad. Okay. Let's see if we can use this one. I was playing around with, so we got a couple ping pong tables. And then I attached this cut mat to it. And so it's not as good as glass, but you can do the same or similar types of stuff. So you can trim on this over and over. I find for like bulk stuff, it's mostly okay, but when you're trying to like refine something down after you already cut it, that's when it gets a little squirrely. So you gotta get it kind of perfect on your first, and then round it. It's for like cutting down signs though and stuff. I'd heard about this stuff though, I just never tried it. See, it doesn't like corners as much. So we're gonna trim this down a bit. Good. Oh, I think I have to do this front one too a little bit. Yep, that's what I was missing. So right here. Did we freeze? Oh. What do you think about GeoShield PPF compared to other brands? I'm not there yet. I hear good things, but I'm not a PPF expert. So we have Car Supplies Warehouse. They're coming in Wednesday? And so we're going to do some PPF training videos. And they'll be able to tell me a little bit more. Because they have their optical brand. So, be curious to play around with a couple of them. It's been a long time since I've done PPF. Oh, I need that towel too. On the back door. Okay. Okay. It's like, it gives me like 10 minutes. Roll this down. This one is gonna be much harder. Because you have the speaker pocket right here. So, same steps. Just gotta be careful. You don't have a lot of room for mistake. It's kind of easy to crease the film when you try and shove it into a pocket like that. All right, one sec. I just gotta get this sprayed. And then my hands are gonna be full. Okay, we'll start with the long side here. I wanna get this as close to position as I can before I rest it on the glass. And then we're going to squish this against the glass, and we're going to roll it and slide it into the seal, right like that. And then this side, see how much that speaker comes out? So I'm going to try and roll the film back. What lights do you have in your shop? I just bought hex lights. They're shit for the yeah, because they're for looks. Just a lot of high bay lights is what you're looking for. Lighting can get really expensive, but honestly, like the rectangular ones, like our lighting is all a mess right now, but all the rectangular ones were already in here, and then I matched it with these circle UFO style ones, and just put a lot of them. One of the biggest problems with lighting though, is with window tinting. It's not just about having it bright, it's about trying to keep really nice, clean reflections. So I wish my whole ceiling was white, but I don't even know how much that would cost. It would just be an utter pain to try and get done though. So we're gonna, I wanna change all these lights up because for the videos, we're gonna do the big diffuser thing again because it just looks better. Big soft lighting overhead. It's nice. So, and it really helps you to see, like, the more you can simulate a cloudy day, you know, like overcast. If you go outside on an overcast day, you can see damn near like every imperfection. It's because you have like a blanket of like grayish white. Makes it super easy to see all the flaws and stuff. So I try and simulate that as much as possible. So a giant white softbox style light is honestly what looks best. And it's nice to shrink under because you can see everything without bobbing your head around too much. But for practicality, at the very least, string up a bunch of those high bay lights Like high bay is not the brand, high bay is the type of light. And there's just a ton of them. There's a ton of them to pick from because it's all like industrial warehouse lighting is what it is. And it'll show you kind of like they all have, you know, light has a spotlight type effect. So how far away is the light from your floor, and the cone that comes out from those lights will kind of help dictate how many that you need. Honestly, just like the more you string up, the more you're like, oh, okay. But some of that, where did my shank go? I think it fell on the floor somewhere. I don't have a spare. It's kind of amazing how that thing just disappears so fast. I'll find it. Anyways. Yeah, everything that I did in the shop so far, like all the gray cabinets, a lot of gray flooring, mixed with like some clean walls and whatnot. I was trying to like clean up everything and make it way less busy. Grays are really good for cameras too. So since we're always like walking around in circles and stuff, I can't properly light something. So it's as much top-down lighting as I can, and then have a little bit of, you know, or a lot of gray and those types of things. It looks really clean though. Okay, let's see how this looks. What is that? Little pocket. Press that out. Nice. Yeah, that looks good. So let's pull this out. Okay, back door, and we'll be all done with that. We can move on to the back window. It's going along pretty good. It's been a long time with that first one though, just to make sure. But I'm pretty happy with this. All right, you tangled mess, you. So when you got a steamer, but we need that anyways. We'll put this cord back here. This one. Let this guy heat up. Give that a good couple minutes. Need some heat gun holsters. Yeah. I guess I can prep that back window. Everything's wiped off. I'm gonna try something a little different today too. Somebody on TikTok said that they use their soap to prep the back window. And so I was curious if we could do the same thing with tint slip. So I'll outline this. I still gotta do the removal though. But I'll get a jump on it. Always try and do something. Almost started, almost. Oh yeah, we gotta tape this off too. Nice. Let's do that. Then we'll for sure be going. I'm gonna take off a couple pieces. I just go for the longer flat spots. That's where any dirt that I have is gonna leach in. I don't really worry about the way that, see how this pillar comes up and out? When you try and wrap around that stuff, you'd need to like have some relief points in the tape or do some smaller pieces there. I'll just do the major parts. And then this is our old panel guard, so it's got a thinner strip here, but I want to put a little extra tape here anyways. It'll help everything stick better. There we go. Alright. Steamer steaming. Hit my nice drywall. A lot of times the edge of my seal guard tape gets pulled up when the window rolls up. Yeah, just don't let it hook. So your gasket, here, let me roll the window up just a little bit. Some show up more than others. But especially on the front corner, your seal, it's a seal. So what it's doing is pressing against the window this way, and your glass is coming up, and so it can hook it. So what I'm gonna do is just put my card in here and hold that corner down and just get that hook part past, and then it's not gonna do that. See, again, what is that? That is so goofy. Because all this is fine. And then it looks like they... What the fuck? It looks scary. I don't know what they did when they tinted this originally. But it's nothing that affects the glass, but it's just like, it looks like squeegee, scrape marks, something. It's very weird. I hope the back window comes off. Looks like, yeah. Yeah, no kidding. This stuff is some thick, weird shit. It almost seems like, no, it's one. Almost seemed like two. Wow, that's fast. Got one window left. You don't want to have to put a jump box on it. But you leave it on, it times out after like, I swear, like 5 minutes. There and back again. Probably have to do that like 2 more times. But yeah, it all scrapes off. It's just like weird glue pattern, something scraping against it. I don't know. There's no etching, no marks, nothing. So that's good. How much for this one? Including removal. The removal is $250, and the ceramic retint was $450. So we'd already done the windshield a different day. There was no tint there. This is a 2-time appointment. $950 total. Are the Discord groups? I don't have a Discord group. Facebook's going good. Yeah, I place my knife here too in a second. I want to see the back removal. We'll get there. I always watch your videos. I'm from the Philippines and I have a small shop, car tint and stickers. Nice. What area of the Philippines? I was back there with my wife and like November through January. What do you find with ads? I actually haven't run ads in a long time, so I couldn't tell you. But whatever is going best for you, double down on that. With Facebook, so much of it can be creative versus Google. A lot of Google ads are like text banners that lead over to like a website. So the difference is with Google, somebody is looking for a window tint, and with Facebook, it's kind of like billboard ads. So there's a lot of room for creativity, which is kind of cool, and you can feature videos and stuff like that and get in direct contact. So it's cool that it's working for you. Mindanao. Well, that sounds familiar. How far away from Dagupan is that? You didn't double cut? No, I usually do. And there we go. Let's do this one more time. There we go. Why did I do them individually? I don't know. I just did. I usually double cut everything, so it's weird to not. But just taking my time, working on the cuts, and just trying to see how this live stream is going to go. So I wanted some extra run-throughs on each window to kind of see camera stuff, and it's not ideal. So you schedule a car like this versus one with no removal. So if it's got a removal, we'll just pretty much tell them expect an additional like 2 hours. Just give yourself a good buffer. That way you got plenty of time. 2 to 3 hour additional. So that's basically why I charge $250 for the removal. It's like it's almost priced as a regular car. I just don't have any like film costs in there. It's all labor costs. But the removal always impacts your job anyways. So whenever you have to scrape glue, like you can scrape all the glue off and then a little piece gets stuck in a seal and then you retint it and then, oh shit. You know what I mean? So you wanna account for that kind of stuff. Yeah, Google ads are definitely more expensive, for sure. But they're priced that way, so it's all a marketplace. And it's priced on what people are willing to pay. And it's it's more expensive. But like, the whole idea is, if people are paying these prices for their ads, then that means they're making money on those. So you don't quite get as many click-throughs and stuff for your money, but they're more effective per person because you're targeting people that are directly looking for a window tint service then and there. They're like searching, like whatever your keywords are, that's what they're searching for. So it's good to be one of the first few businesses that pop up. You could always try and ding your customers or your competitors by doing those same searches and then start clicking on their ads. Because that's how that works. But, man, there's just so many other things. So YouTube and other socials have always been just what I do. So it's doubled as an awesome form of advertising. Rinse. I was charging super low when starting, like 150. Not making much, but now I have more experience and I do full cars. Feel like I can charge 400. I mean, yeah, it's whatever people pay. You could charge those prices or higher prices when you're brand new. It's kind of a problem a lot of new people run into, is because like, well, I don't have much experience, so I can't charge. And it's like, well, if your work is good and you provide a good product, like, why? You don't need experience to charge for it. A good result with a good film is a good result. So charging yourself or charging lower in the beginning kind of handicaps you, unfortunately, because you're just going to have people, like cheap customers is all you're attracting. And then out of that, as you grow, it's like, hey, I'm worth more than this, I should charge more. But you've spent all your time attracting cheap people. So now you kind of have to dig yourself away from that client base. And it's just, you're not getting those same people to pay a higher rate. You're getting completely new customers at that rate. So you're going to have your existing clients and referrals come to you and go, hey, why is this so much more expensive now? And then you're going to start feeling bad because you're going to get beat up on price. But that's kind of what happens is every price point kind of has like a different type of customer. Look at them like buckets. So cheap buckets are cheap people. And there's a market for everything. I don't pay the most amount for everything that I do. Yeah, I used to be really confused about that. Like if I charge like $100, it's super low. Why would those people be picky? It's, don't they know that they're getting a great deal? Well, no. They don't. They don't know they're getting a great deal. People don't really know much about tint at all. So whenever somebody pays any amount of money, there's those, like, I expect that I get window tint and it's gonna look good, because who wouldn't expect that? So when you start charging more, and also trying to advertise to those types of people, what you're getting is you're getting people that just have more money to spend, and they're generally busier people, which is kind of like the sweet spot in this business. You get people that'll spend a little bit more money, and that won't necessarily stick their nose on the car in the same way, because like you charged more, but to that person that's making more money, it doesn't feel like it's a lot of money. Where when you're charging $100 to people that don't have much money, that $100 is a lot. So you'll in every bracket you always have people that'll have issues, but there should be enough, like, figure out that sweet spot in your area where you can turn up your prices more, make more, and then you get less hassle. I think you could charge $50 and still have an insane amount of problems. Anything besides like making it free. Oh yeah, that rolls over there. Okay. Tape. We'll tape this. We got a back window to remove. So let me tape this, cut it out. I'll turn the steamer back on, and we'll remove that back window. But same thing, steamer. Cook the film some, remove it as quick as I can. And then cross our fingers that it doesn't need much scrubbing. You should use carbon blades. I do on the glass. Don't do that. Don't use carbon blades on the glass. I have two. This one's carbon. This one's stainless. Stainless is softer. It doesn't scratch. Carbon is a harder metal and is almost guaranteed to scratch. And they do. Boy, do they ever. I've seen it. I've seen it firsthand. I grabbed a pack of blades. They were 30 degrees, super sharp. And I have 30 degrees, they're great. But they're all carbon. Oh yeah, the tape. Tape is called Glass Aid. Glass Aid cut guard. I think that's what we finally, because we have panel guard, seal guard, and it only makes sense that that's cut guard. What's a little white camera? That one's the Insta360 Go 3. I got it for my glasses. It can't live stream, but it's to do some quick videos. So I had a couple pairs of glasses and I put this bracket here on the side. So this little party trick is like, it looks kind of like a GoPro. Flip up screen and all that, kind of nice. It's not as nice quality as a GoPro. Actually, GoPros have kind of dropped off some. DJI Osmo Action 4 is what I'm currently on. That's the best looking camera for the size. But you push this button and this camera, this pops right out, and then, oh, it's recording already. But you can just do that. So it's a way to film impromptu videos way easier. So it's magnetic. You can put it there. $650 for a full with windshield. Am I getting robbed? I'd charge you, in ceramic, I'd charge you $7. If it was Apex, it'd be like $9. No, you're not getting robbed. If you want to save money on it, though, just ask for a regular tint. But there's a lot of factors in there. What shop did you go to? What area do you live in? What film are they using? All those play a part. You can get ceramic for cheap, but it's just not as good. So part of it is the film they install, and another part of it is the installer. You don't want to have issues with lots of dirt specks, bubbles, creases, gaps. So It's usually where those prices come into play, because to do a good job, it takes a little bit of time. And that costs money. Oh yes, camera. I forgot, you're not infinite. I think it's got a 10-minute warning. So what do we gotta do? Thoughts on Lexan? It's a cheap carbon or cheap ceramic. One sec, I gotta swap the battery on this. There's one. Pop this guy out. This shop uses Expel. Yeah, I hear that a lot. That's usually what happens. You guys come into Expel's branding and you're like, ooh, I want that. That's cool. And then you actually call a shop and you're like, why the fuck is it so expensive? That's how it goes. Having panel guard, or having problems getting panel guard to stick. Seal guard. So the problem has always been door panels don't want anything to stick to them. That's why they're wiped down easier. It's just they could have some type of Scotch guard on them. They basically just make them so they're a little easier to clean up, and then that prevents a lot of tapes and stuff from sticking to them. So when it's not sticking, I'll do an extra layer of this. I'll do this on it because you have some more surface area to cling to, and then I'll put the panel guard over that. It's not ideal. They're the same tapes, but it's just how it works sometimes. I want to make the adhesive more aggressive though. So we're playing around with that right now. The problem that I've heard from my manufacturer is they're just like, well, the more you increase the adhesive, you can run into issues where the adhesive sticks to the back side of the tape. So as you're trying to unroll it, it's just so aggressive. And then there's certain panels where you don't want the tape to be super aggressive either. So it's kind of working that type of balance so it works with most things. But I think it could be a little bit stronger than it is now, and that would help, and it wouldn't be an issue. Because if anything, it doesn't stick quite enough to as many things as I'd like. Keep the original and do Seal Guard extra strength. Like Tylenol. We just ordered a bunch of it, so we like using it. Thanks, man. I'm glad to hear it. Yeah, products are kind of tough. Because there's always those things like, why can't you just make it more aggressive? It's like, believe it or not, it is very aggressive. That's why like painter's tapes don't work. That's why the longest time I was using house wrap tapes, and that's what it's modeled after. So you can still go find house wrap tapes that have a hyper aggressive adhesive too. They all just got expensive. I got salty at Lowe's. So like during peak inflation hikes, we were doing, it was what, like 10 bucks per roll. It's like, oh, you can't beat that. And then next time I go to buy it, Carpet Shield went from like $30 to $50. And then house wrap tapes went from 10 to 15. It's like, fuck that. Okay. So now we need to remove the brake light. This brake light was already kind of hanging off here. So let me move this a little bit. It's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough to manage some type of camera here. I'll do my best for now, but it may not be possible for the whole thing. Nice, those will come out. I gotta go to the trunk now. They should, like a trunk button, they should have a seat button where I don't always have to do this. I have like the same car vacuum. But since these pop out, it's well worth doing that. Wow. Nice. Let's find, where's one more towel? One more would be good. Most of that. One blade. We got a little spot here that I can work loose. Dang it. So close. Where's my film end? I think I got it. There we go. Antenna lines go right at the top. Just gotta get it started. I don't know if this is gonna be good or not. Do you run PPC ads? No. I am the search terms. No, it'd be smart to do it. It's always smart to do it. PPC is tried and true. It's a numbers game. The more people you can push to anything that you're doing, you'll capture a percentage of those people. That's just how that works. So the trick is, am I spending more than I'm making? And trying to work those numbers. So the free hack is creating content, but it's not everything. There's tons and tons and tons of businesses. Companies don't need to be content creation machines. It does a couple things though. It helps you get more attention for free. Well, minus what you put into creating that piece. So that's the good news. And then it also can help you make better ads by seeing how your own stuff performs, and then making that be the ad on some level. Like, there's always memes and trends and stuff that may not align with what you're trying to do, and you get a lot of views on something. But a lot of people will just make like an ad that they saw on TV and think that that's gonna bring them a lot of business. So testing your creative is always kind of the unknown there. Yes. Film's coming off. It's leaving this small misty layer of glue behind. So that's not fun. Nobody likes that. Probably gonna get a rope, put a rope down there. And then mist it, give it a good scrubbing, and hopefully that takes care of it the first time. But it's definitely not pulling clean. Yeah, and the more I looked into running ads and just kind of how everything works, it's like, and the more just you listen to people, everything has a chance of working some. Even like mail ads, they still work. Mailers, flyers, word of mouth, like, it's all good. It's just there can be a time delay with some of it. So if you send out, you know, you want immediate business and you send out like 5,000 pieces in the mail, like it does take some time for some of that to kick in. So you want to be doing some of everything throughout the entire year. And what a lot, like me included, you know, when it starts slowing down, that's when you're like, oh shit, I gotta do something. And then it gets busy and you're like, oh, this is awesome. It's never gonna slow down. It absolutely will, and you'll be back in the same spot that you were before. So it all can work. Oof. Yikes. Okay, I'm gonna go get a rope. I don't usually do this, but it's an M5 competition. I think that's what the, yeah. So we gotta spray some adhesive remover down there. Oh, that's so fun. How do you remove tint glue? That's what we're gonna be getting into here in a sec. Because I just did a steamer, and the steamer didn't remove all the glue. And that's kind of how this works, is you don't always remove all the glue. Unfortunately, I wish they did. Some people will say they do, they don't. So there's some tricks that you can use to help, but a foolproof way is get the film off. That way you can get to the adhesive and then spray it with an adhesive remover. I gotta find some tint strip, hang on. ATR is good. I like that. Okay, let's see what we find first though. So we have tint strip. Do we have an open bottle? I swear I do. We have ATR. This is good. I might do a side-by-side comparison here and put them both to the test. Alright, we need that. We need a scrub pad. We're gonna say bye-bye to moisture in my hands. What brand? GeoShield. Alright, let me see. Let's try some tint strip here. Yeah, ATR has been around for a long time, and it's my go-to. And then GeoShield made this stuff. So WD-40. I mean, I believe you. I think a lot of things can maybe work good to remove glue. The thing is too is you just want to be careful about the rest of the car. You got plastics and deck lids and stuff that is just like near impossible to cover up. Wow, that is way up high. Do you dilute it? No, you can just spray it. The lower stuff is always harder to get to. Okay, let's try ATR on the other side. Seems pretty comparable on this one. Smell wise, Tint strip has that like classic citrus type of smell to it. ATR has always got a different smell to it. I don't think either of them are great. Alright, we'll let that cook for a sec. I'm gonna put a scrub head on this. I forget about this tool. This always comes in handy though. Because you can only get down so far before it becomes a pain. Just need to knock this stuff loose. What a pain. This is not even that bad of a removal, but it's not exactly fun. I wish this rope would go down a little bit more. This is why I typically don't use a rope on back windows. But I'm gonna give it one more coat. Mobile tinting. Mobile tinting is such a grind. It's not that it doesn't help, but I don't know. The more people I see try and do it, it's just tough. Yeah, what was I saying about mobile? I think the customer just called. But yeah, with mobile, one of the biggest problems is just volume. So when you go to somebody's house, you're trying to figure out, you know, hopefully they have a garage. Hopefully they have space for you to tint in it. Otherwise, you gotta figure out all the other problems like weather and tinting outside. And so if you don't have ways to manage those, then your job, most of your, your job is dependent then on the weather and other elements. So I'd hate to not be able to tint somebody's car because it's rainy. So all that stuff, it costs you time and money. But the good news is you didn't have a shop overhead to worry about, so there's that. But the thing is, there's a lot of companies that are looking for tinters that aren't necessarily tint shops. You know, a glass company is gonna ask, is gonna get asked all the time about, hey, do you offer window tint? And all they need is a good tinter. So mobile, you can go to existing companies like that, tint for them 1 or 2 days a week, funnel all of that business to those 1 or 2 days, whatever you want to do. And make a really good living off of that. So that's how I got into my shop, really. I was doing that, opened my shop, and while I was working on my shop, I would treat my shop like a mobile account. I'd still go to those other places, still tint for other people. I learned from my dad's company. That was my in. So otherwise, I don't think I'd be in tinting. It's definitely not something I was looking to get into. It just made good money. But you know, then I learned the skill. And what was nice is, you know, when you learn the skill, it becomes easier. So I was still going to aviation mechanic school. All right. I don't know if this is completely clean. I feel like it mostly is. Mostly is never good enough, though. Just those lower areas that are really hard to tell. How did you learn? So, my dad's shop, he offered window tinting. Yeah, there still seems like there's something. And then he had a pretty good window tinter that randomly one day quit. So that wasn't super fun. But his business partner's son knew how to tint, and so he came over for the summer and taught me a lot of what I know now, and then picked everything else up from working with other people and community and stuff. gonna sweep this off. I think we should be good. Okay, I think we're good. Let's I went to a shop. I went to a tinter and he refused to hire me because they don't teach people. Because people open their shop. Oh, yeah, I mean, it's a little tough. Because, you know, look at it from their perspective. Why should they teach you? I'm trying this tint slip. We'll try this, see if this works. But yeah, from a tinter perspective, if you came in here and you're like, hey, I wanna I just need experience, I've already done a course. Yeah, but no matter what, like a good chunk of learning is just practice. So yeah, training with a shop, like with people that already know what they're doing, is gonna speed you up the most. But it's also gotta make sense for the shop, and you have a lot of people that just don't want to go out of their way to teach people. But coming from, like, I've worked in a high production shop, and it just slows you down to try and teach people. So I can completely sympathize with it on both perspectives. Like, they got to do what's best for their business, and teaching somebody that just wants to learn, like, not everybody's going to be okay with that because they don't want to teach competition. That's the real problem. Which, that's very real. You can be tinting for them for a little while and then go, oh, okay, I know what to do. Bye. And then you open up a shop nearby, and then you start trying to take their clients, and they're like, what the fuck? What are you using? I was streaming on TikTok, and somebody said they were tinting with Dawn and just used the Dawn on the back window. And I'm like, huh, that's interesting. So I just took tint slip, I put it on a rag, and I wiped it on here, and this will be the first time that I'm trying to shrink with that. Because if it works, then that's cool. But if this works, then probably any other liquid soap would probably work. So I just don't know. This could be really, really sticky. It's definitely got quite a bit of grab to it. That sounds like too much grabbing for my liking. Have you tried dry shrink prep? Yes, yes. Dry shrink prep is good. But like this is what I do. I hear things and I try so many different things at this point. And then I kind of, you know, hey, maybe it's something that I want to do for myself. Or now I understand where other people are coming from when they ask questions. So it's always nice to find something new that, like, I never, for whatever reason, ever thought to just put tint slip on a back window and try and shrink with it. Until I heard somebody on TikTok said that they were doing it with the soap. And I'm like, or with the Dawn. And I was like, interesting. Lots of people are doing it by themselves after watching your videos, so they're losing customers, which wasn't there. Yeah, like the whole industry grows and changes and shifts, but that doesn't mean they want to be the ones to contribute to that. Like, they have their business, so. Oh yeah, this is hella sticky. It works. I'd be curious to try Dawn and compare it, but I'm able to shrink it, but this would not be my go-to. Yeah, so your soap bars, like Dove, those will have just a lot more moisturizers and stuff to them. So what makes a good shrinking thing is something that leaves like a decent waxy layer behind. And what happens is the tint will then stick to that, but only when you press it down. See, right now it's just kind of like clinging to the glass. It's not floating. Well, maybe it's starting to some. No, it's basically starting to cling, like right away. So unless you know how to work with that, you just made things more difficult than easier. So. What's your go-to? Snuggle dryer sheets or dry shrink prep. I'll use one or the other. The only thing about dry shrink prep is you just have to put the right amount. So if you soak the bag down and smear it all over the glass, which a lot of new people are kind of prone to do, it just doesn't work out super well. Whereas a snuggle sheet, you can put a thick layer on that back window. So, man, when we try and explain this, here, I haven't ruined this piece really, but I don't wanna just try and do this for this back window. I wanna just get this done right. So a dryer sheet though is just a little bit more foolproof, or snuggle in particular. Spray, mush it up, But with DSP, you wanna just do a real thin layer of it. So you're gonna spritz the baggie. You can lightly mist the window. And it's just, until you get used to it, it's a little bit harder to see if you have the right coverage. But if you do too much, sometimes it'll be way too sticky on some days. It's hard to explain, but it has been. So I just wish it was a little more foolproof. So now with this, we gotta let this dry. This is gonna take a little bit of time. Time is it? 2? Not that bad. Can you share a link for the masking tape and the dryer sheet? 313tint.com. Okay, let's try this again. The C2 carbon shrink the same as Pro Classic. It's very, very similar. Both of them are really good. All of Geo's films are going to shrink really fast. Wow, this almost fell off. Do you use 40 by 100? Right now I am. I don't know why I have my Pro Nano roll in 40. You should use the map gas to shrink the film for fun. I was playing around with that not too long ago. Where's this one? Okay. Nice. Oh yeah, cam is way up now. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of this. Alright. So with the dryer sheet, see this See now how it's floating here? It's not trying to stick. That's the difference. So when you let it float, the film has the opportunity to kind of hover over the back window, and then as you're shrinking it, it's nice and even, but you're still kind of stretching it over the window. So you let it cool a little bit, and then you're gonna cart it forward. Oh, how many cars from a 40 by 100? If you're not doing the windshields, you'll be able to do like 8 cars. So yeah, I guess that's kind of 6 with a windshield. Do you hold the normal tint film this... What? Yeah, I'll treat all of these the same. Ceramics, you'll want to baby a little bit more when you're shrinking them. So they absorb a lot of heat. So what we've kind of found out too is if you cart it down immediately after you heat it up, it's gonna retain some of the impressions from what you put underneath it. So like you can heat and force the film to just go down right away, but if you want it to look a little bit smoother, heat it first, let it cool, and then smooth it down. But the heat gun is always what does the work. So there's a little texture in anything that you put underneath it. So there's like a little texture to the dryer sheet. So it's real subtle, But especially on a front windshield, you can leave those little impressions in the film, and then so it'll look fine when it goes out. And to most people, they're not going to notice it. But if you start looking at like sharp edges through your windshield and look at the tint while you're doing it, you'll start to notice those little impressions. Have you ever used Autobahn? No, I haven't. New shop? Kinda. We did a renovation on it. We now have a storage loft, and we built a flat glass wall. So that's for the training classes. How much is the training course? Automotive, that's 3 days. Check out the website. It'll have more info on it, but I can answer any extra questions. 313tint.com. It was cool. At the last one, we had a few people that were really determined and having problems with shrinking. And by the end of it, oh, they were doing everything. It was cool. A couple of them were brand new. I took 3 days on a VW Polo in training school. Do they only have a VW Polo for you? That's a different, or a pretty decent vehicle to train on. All right. So this is all cleaned. We're just gonna wipe it off. Let's see if I can feel for anything. I don't feel anything. Golf and Polo. Oh man, they had a lot of VWs. Nice. Well, that's a pretty good training class, it sounds like. Yeah, that's what our training class is mostly like. So the first day we go over doors, cutting, shrinking, installing. Next day we do back windows and front windshields, heat shrinking, reverse rolling, Frankenstein, all that. And then third day is a freeform day. So you get a good sense of what everything's like and where all your struggles are. And then we help a lot with that. Oh my god, I'm like setting this up for a reverse roll. I'm just gonna carry it. What? That reach tool, it's real nice. Which one? Oh, an IROC-Z. Well, yeah, man. I mean, I got a Chrysler Conquest sitting there. That's its own kind of fun, too. You always have those extreme vehicles that you just don't see much anymore. Chameleon front windshield. No, we don't. Chameleon film, I don't really have any good recommendations. I start looking into manufacturing too much. And the thing about Chameleon films is, like, far as I can tell, they're all miscellaneous Chinese films. And so you're just like, I don't know what's safe to recommend and what isn't. So anything with like a color reflectiveness to it is a little bit more susceptible to ghosting, so you just can't overheat it before you press it down. So just be gentler with the heat. But they'll more or less shrink like a regular film. Chameleon's very popular. I know. See, and then somebody's like, thoughts on Luminous. Luminous is just like an off Chinese brand. I don't know. Like, this, I could throw a random ass Chameleon film on my website and then let you guys figure it out if it's good or not. But I can pretend that it's amazing. But a lot of these films, you just don't know. And I've seen firsthand some of them fade within a year. I've seen ones that have, one in particular that has lasted longer than that firsthand. So that's cool. So they're not all bad. But it's just not a very well supported market. Where's my, oh, here. Wow, it's on me. Alright, let's squeegee it off and check. What's the best window tint trick you know? Exxon? I have no idea about Exxon. There's your like staple brands, that are very recognizable. There's your less notable brands, but you know they come from good manufacturers and have a good track record. And then there's your, I have no idea. And there's quite a few companies that fall in that. I have no idea. Glue mark? What glue mark? I've had chrome film. What is it? Chrome film turn bronze or just flake off? Yeah. I've got a video live stream. I did this gold reflective tint. And like, it was fun to do. I'd love to do more colors and stuff. I mean, I'd get a bunch of views on that kind of stuff. But then people are like, where did you buy it from? What is it? So it would just be for memes, really. I don't know how, like, all the live streams that I do are like customer vehicles. So it's something that I would be comfortable putting on my own car and driving around with it. So the last thing I want to do is charge somebody more and have it fail way sooner, and then they're just overall unhappy. It's really bad for business if you do things like that. But if somebody would want to buy one and just bring it in and then pay me to install it, sure, all day. But the other thing is, people are way more likely to get pulled over for that kind of stuff, unfortunately. So even selling it is like, it's your gray market. It'd be fun, but horizontal YouTube string. Yeah, not for long. Good. I cleaned the shit out of this. And it shows. It shows that I did. That makes me happy. There we go. Nice. What do I recommend? I recommend what I use. GeoShield. I've been using them for a long time now. This is their Pro Nano 15%. We're gonna clean this up. Give me a little bit. Wipe it all down nice and pretty. Much better though. What do you use for matching factory for the C2 liner? Just using them 20 meters 13 when applied. What? It doesn't sound right. Because they have a 15. Did you put a meter on the film itself and it said 20? Because if you put a 20 on the glass, it'll usually be like a couple percent darker, but 7% is kind of extreme. But whenever I run into that type of situation, I'm going to have to use the next shade up. And so I would try 35 and see where that lands. But on a 20% match, 35 would be too light. 20 is the way to go. I had like a Toyota, best example I have is a Toyota 4Runner. The front glass on that is yellow compared to the rear glass. And I found 35 C2 on that helps to make it a little bit more neutral and darkens it up enough to where it's a really, really close match, like within 2 or 3%. But sometimes I'll play around with different films when I'm trying to match something, because you have the coloring of the job of like what you're trying to match. So some colors are just a little stronger in some of the other films. They're not all the same. So some matches, Pro Classic has been a little better. Some Pro Nano has been like spot on. And I'll just kind of preface the match to the customer. Like if you start bringing all those little nuances into it, it depends on the person. If they're just like, I just want the closest match possible, then sometimes you can bring that kind of stuff up where if it's like, well, when you're sitting in the vehicle looking through it, you just want it to be as similar as possible. Okay, so these are the shades, but then I'll show them on the board. All these colors are not exactly even, like equal to one another. So same thing for your vehicle. So what I'll do, it'll range from here to here, and I'm just gonna match up the films, and I'm gonna see which one looks the closest to what you have, and I'll do that one. Most people like that. How long does stacking film last if correctly installed? I mean, if the film underneath is fine, then you're not gonna see any issues. There's no set rule to that. It's just kind of good luck. So if I tinted something and somebody wanted to go darker, yeah, no problem. I'll tint it. I'll put a layer over that, and then I know if there's any issues, I know what films are on there. The issue is when you don't know what's on there, and you don't know who installed it, and they're coming to you and they want to do another layer. And it's like, I'll do it as long as the tint looks like it's in fairly good shape. But I won't put any type of a guarantee on it. This is the price. You don't want to pay to remove it, which is fair because paying to remove tint kind of sucks. I mean, like this one, it's like, it's never fun to just have to pay for a removal because you're paying to have tint taken off when you want to put tint back on. But so if the tint's in good shape and you just want to go darker, but there were definitely some things on this one that, you know, it's the smarter way to do it is just to have it all removed. You're going with a nice new install. If something peels, if my work peels, it's all 100% covered. It's not just money out the window. What's the best way to get customers as I just started? I should have a good answer for that. It's kind of a mix of things. I mean, you just need to start running traffic somewhere. So really, paid ads is going to be one of the fastest way to get started. Some good old-fashioned hustle, too. Network with local businesses and stuff. By the way, S500 and 550, what problems are there with the S550? I actually don't even know. How should your clientele be before trying to open up your shop? What? Can you rewrite that question? Why did that turn on? Alright, let's get this thing buttoned up. Oh, matching them? Or when you're tinting? Well, S550, that's a... Like, yeah, they'll have a mirror. I don't know. You just tell them it'll be mirrored. It's not an issue. The issue is if they want to remove that, and they're just like, yeah, they seem reflective, and you would just say, yeah, it's like, it's a laminate inside the glass. Mercedes makes their glass that way. How do we control contamination with the front windshield? Oh man, they're coming in right now. So watch the windshield videos. Windshields are super easy to get dirt in. It's genuinely hard to keep them clean. So much of it comes down to the little nuances of your install. So watch some reverse rolling videos. I have a whole bunch of those, but look at those and you'll get some good ideas of how to keep it clean. Every little step matters for a windshield though in reverse rolling. This wasn't even put on right when I took this down. These clips, they go up here, and then this one wasn't in before. So it was just like flopping around back here, but you push them in and make sure they're snug, and then this thing does not move. Is my contribution. I've made this better. I'd much rather deal with them though than the Audi ones. Audi ones are, you slide it forward and sometimes that doesn't want to slide. Yeah, I had a 8.8 that was like, they replaced the back window at some point, and there was glue. There's that urethane stuck to the brake light. It was bad. Okay, the one thing, this looks like a screaming chicken or something, and you like, ah! I've seen a video. What? Just throwing that out there for those that may want to know. Had a court case because of it from a tint shop I worked at years ago. Customer didn't get the installed film, wasn't mirror. How does that even get to court though? That's goofy. Like if somebody is so unhappy with a job, they're like, you try and explain it and they just don't get it. They're not happy. You're just gonna have to give them their money back and take the film off and send them on their way. Don't let that shit get to court. Then there's gonna be court fees. Okay, I don't understand these dispensers at all. This is like your average spray bottle. And it does not ever come out normal. Oh, I need another sprayer top anyways. So, is it okay to cut on a windshield if you don't have a peel board using a Sharpie method? Cut on the windshield. Why? What's the point of the Sharpie method? What? Okay, if you're using a Sharpie, the whole idea is to not use a blade on the car. So like by marking your windshield and then trimming it, like it's just extra steps. The whole point is to draw that pattern to get to a different surface and then cut it off. If you want to cut on the glass, use scissors, use glass aid, use anything else. Or light pressure with stainless steel blades, and just be careful. But yeah, like every windshield video that I do, or back window, I mean, the guy took the company to court because he thought we did something to his glass. Oh, he took you guys to court. Yeah, that was a certified crazy person. You could have that situation pop up in any number of ridiculous ways that has nothing to do with like that. You just have a psycho person that just won't listen, thinks you did something to their car, won't understand reason. So, I got it. It was his father's car. I know my father's car was not like this before you touched it. You made the windows reflective. People are silly. That sucks. But yeah, I've never ran into that type of problem. I don't do a lot of Mercedes, and I'm not saying it can't happen, but that situation's just certified crazy person. I had somebody with a Volvo text me a picture after the job, and down low on one of the panels there was basically a thumbnail impression somewhere down here. And I'm like, it took me even a while to see what he was talking about. And he's like, I'm sure that wasn't there. It was like on the passenger side. And I did the whole thing live. I've got like video footage of covering up the panels and everything. Oh, that's so nice. It's so nice when you turn it on and everything works. That's what I was checking for. No dash lights. Or like no bad dash lights. All good ones. So yeah, we're all good. Whew. Alright guys, I gotta hop off here. He's waiting up front very patiently. But they allowed me to do a good job in a decent time. So, thanks for watching. I will see you in another one. Ooh, look at that. Look at that 15. That looks nice. Except for the windshield, I gotta clean that.
Okay.
A Lotus? No, I have not seen a Lotus in person. Makes me sad. They're cool cars. Bye. Oh, that's a record button.